in this one, I'm gonna share a little bit about how our minds can get in the way of accepting ourselves as we are. And I'm gonna use a personal example for this. Because what often happens is that we tell ourselves stories in our heads, and all these stories also cause emotions and causes us to react in the moment because of something that triggers us. And the trigger usually is based on an experience we've had in our past, in our youth, or it's linked to a certain identity that we think we have to hold up, or an identity that we really believe that we are, or an identity that really serves us in a way or protects us in a way to not feel certain emotions or pain. And most of these stories and most of the protection mechanisms, they stem from our youth, when we were little, when we were not able to distinguish others' emotions from our own. We really weren't able to deal with our own emotions often because, we need to have someone model that for us, or we need to have someone help us regulate and integrate and help us see that we are not the emotions, but we are experiencing the emotions and the feeling that is happening, the energy. But if we don't learn that, then we believe that we are that emotion, that we are the trigger, and that we are the thought, and that everything that we think is really actually true because we can feel it so deeply in our system. And it's really hard to let that go, or to see that from a different perspective if we are so in it, if it's really the truth for us. And with the help of the work, I've changed so many of my perspectives, and I've really integrated a lot of emotions into my system, and really helped me to actually feel and distinguish what is actually the truth and what is actually not, and what is truly factually happening, instead of my projection on the situation. Okay, let's dive into the example. So I was in someone else's house. I'm in someone else's house right now as well. Beautiful place. But I was in someone else's house and I broke something. And obviously that's not what we want to happen. But hey, things happen. So instantly, what happened in my head, the story I was telling myself was, oh my God, you're so dumb, you're so clumsy, how can this happen? And also instantly, I felt guilt and shame. And I noticed my mind going in this vicious cycle of stories, because I believed that I am not the person who makes mistakes, and I am not the person who breaks things. I really was holding into that identity of, no, that is not me. And because I was so identified with that persona or that person, it really felt very painful that I was the one breaking things now, because I actually identified myself with the person who's always perfect, who never makes mistakes, who doesn't fail, and who's always really careful with stuff and with especially with other people's materials and space. So yeah, that I was actually now the one who did this was a huge failure for my mind, and because of that identity that I've built, because yeah, that's not me. And at the same time, I really like rejected myself in that moment, because I didn't allow myself to feel what was there. I really resisted the feeling of guilt, and I really resisted the feeling of making that mistake and what it did to me. And the resistance to that whole feeling and to whatever I was experiencing made it worse. It made it worse because it got me into this vicious cycle of resisting the thing that was happening, basically resisting my own rejection of myself. And that kept me in the loop, because I noticed that I was doing that, but then I didn't allow myself to actually have that experience. And when I noticed that, then something changed. And then I was like, oh, I'm in this story again. Okay, let's do a little inquiry and let's see what is underneath and what is really happening here. And then I got this whole revelation of seeing myself holding on to that identity of, not being the person who ever does that. So basically not allowing myself to be human. And also, at the same time, the fear of upsetting the other person. And that is a huge thing, especially also with my undefined solar plexus. If you have an undefined solar plexus, human design language, then you might notice this, that feeling of upsetting another person and making them angry, which is not possible. But of course, that's how it feels, that it's my fault that that person is upset or angry or whatever. That feels like terror in the body. And that's still something I'm working on. It's something I'm going through. I'm integrating. And, but it's, that's also something that was triggered in that specific situation. The fear of upsetting someone else. And also because I did not want to feel that, I also try to avoid taking the responsibility and avoid telling the truth about me making a mistake. Because if we just scrap all the stories and all the identification and the triggers and the fears, then what is the thing that factually happened is I made a mistake. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And it doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't make me, perfect. And it doesn't make me a failure. It doesn't make me the worst friend ever. It doesn't make me flawed. It just makes me human, which is what I am, which is what we all are. And it's just such a relief to really allow yourself to be human and make mistakes, because that's what we do. That's what happens in life. And then, if you take it from that perspective, there isn't actually a problem. And well, the only problem is that I broke something, and then the question is, can I do something about it? Is it something that can be fixed by me? And the answer in this case is yes, so I can do that, and I will do that. And then suddenly there's no story, there's no vicious cycle anymore. It's just what is, and yeah, accepting myself to be human, someone who sometimes breaks things and makes mistakes, and then can learn from that. That's it, folks. All right, thanks for watching, and maybe you got something out of it, maybe not, but either way, I love you being there, and I love you for being here with me, and sharing the space together, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.